All right, so the next deep dive is going to be here for the humanoid scene. If you remember from a previous video, this guy was rendered from a 3D program in various perspectives, and he is actually set to, his sprite manager is set to 16 directions. And an interesting thing on this guy is that he has his reflection mode set on as well. So he reflects from east to west. What that basically means is that all of these directions get set on Sprite Manager, but these ones don't have to be, because this will, if you take a look at this flip X right here, as I rotate the camera, it just flips the X for the correct directions when they need to be facing in the opposite direction of what's being reflected. Closer look at the sprites themselves. See everything for the humanoid character. So again, the prefab that this guy points to is going to be in the same prefabs characters folder like the other ones, like the knight, and then we have a next one here that I'm going to talk about in the next video. And the animations and the sprites are going to be underneath the demo model's human male. Okay, so this guy has an animator that is a lot simpler than our knight animator. He simply has an idle pose, and he can walk around and then he can run around. So these are the states and these are the animations that he has. I guess one interesting thing that we can glean from this scene specifically is another feature of SpriteMan. When we go to window animation, we can see what gets animated on SpriteMan. So, and we can even preview the animations. So the idle animations are always very short for the stuff that I have in the demos. There's no wobbling or any action poses or anything. They're just very straightforward. It's got actually one frame, like one frame, and that's it. Just to keep things super simple. And then when somebody walks around, for example, we can preview this. We can preview the walk animation. You can preview the run animation. So you can preview all animations in the scene directly after you get these things set up properly. And I'm going to go into setting up the animator and animations, how to do that in a later video as well. The sprites themselves, so all of this stuff was rendered out. And so instead of being a sprite sheet, each sprite, each frame is just a different image, a different sprite. Now, one thing that I've done here that I do recommend to anyone having to use SpriteMan is that they kind of get their naming convention down to something that they're comfortable with, so that they are then later able to actually track down their sprites when they need to add a lot of frames for a different direction. So for example, our walk cycle here has 8 frames in all of these directions. Of course, these ones are, because the reflection mode, it's reflected east to west. Same with run. There's a bunch of frames. for each direction. Name your frames and your sprite sheet frames, things you can that you can then reference easily later. So idle frames, run frames, named, so because there have to be a lot of them, the naming convention really helps out. Again, same with walk. A lot of walking sprites, walking frames.